So, how does gooning work? Gooning is what happens when the brain discovers a way to stay permanently almost there and decides this is not a phase, not a mistake, but a lifestyle choice. Not a single spike of pleasure, not a clear beginning or end, just a sustained state of attention where time becomes syrupy, focus narrows to a tunnel, and the rest of reality waits patiently outside the door checking its watch. Despite how it's talked about online, gooning isn't some exotic new behavior invented by the internet. It's an ancient neurological shortcut wearing modern clothing. Strip away the slang, the memes, the mythology, and what you're left with is prolonged stimulation plus a brain that is very, very good at getting stuck. The star of the show here is not pleasure, it's wanting. Your brain runs on dopamine, and dopamine is deeply misunderstood. It's not the happiness chemical, it's not the reward chemical, it's the pursuit chemical. Dopamine doesn't say, "This feels good." It says, "Keep going." It's the mental lean forward, the engine revving while the car stays parked. Gooning works by keeping dopamine elevated while deliberately delaying resolution. No clean ending, no release valve, no moment where the system resets and everyone goes home. Just anticipation stretched thin like plastic wrap over time. The brain loves this because when dopamine stays high, attention locks in. Thoughts slow down, the mental noise fades. You're not multitasking, you're not deciding, you're not evaluating your life choices, you're just there. One stimulus, one direction, one job. This is why people describe it as trance-like. It's not dissociation exactly, it's compression. The world shrinks to something manageable, complex problems disappear, the brain gets what it always wanted, simplicity. And modern technology is extremely good at supplying that simplicity on demand. Infinite novelty means the brain never fully adapts. Every small variation refreshes the signal. A new angle, a new idea, a new suggestion. Just enough difference to keep dopamine from dropping, but not enough to force a conclusion. Evolution did not plan for this. Your brain evolved for scarcity, effort, and clear stopping points. Hunt ends, meal ends, day ends. The internet removed all of those endings and replaced them with a scroll bar that never reaches the bottom. The brain accepted immediately and did not read the fine print. Over time, something important shifts. What starts as curiosity turns into regulation. Stress points you toward it. Boredom nudges you toward it. Emotional overload suggests it quietly, like a familiar chair in a loud room. The behavior stops being about intensity and starts being about control. Control over mood. Control over attention. Control over internal noise. And this is where it stops feeling funny and starts feeling sticky. Not catastrophic, not dramatic, just consistent. The brain notices patterns, it learns that this state works. Not in a "this will improve my life" sense, but in the immediate low effort everything is quieter now sense. And the brain is ruthlessly loyal to whatever reduces discomfort fastest. That loyalty comes with side effects. Baseline focus drops, slower activities feel dull, tasks that require patience suddenly feel insulting. Not because they lost value, but because they can't compete with intensity on tap. The brain recalibrates its expectations quietly, without asking for permission. This is how people end up confused. "I'm not miserable," the brain says. "I'm just less interested in everything else." Shame often sneaks in at this point, which makes things worse in a very specific way. Privacy signals importance to the brain. Secrecy adds weight. Anything hidden feels significant, charged, elevated. This isn't morality, it's conditioning. The more something is isolated, the more the brain treats it like a special channel, which strengthens the loop. And because gooning doesn't look obviously destructive, it avoids triggering alarm bells. There's no hangover, no immediate crash, just a subtle flattening of everything else, like someone turned the contrast down on life. Interrupting that loop isn't about discipline or self-hatred. Brute force doesn't work against dopamine system. The brain interprets deprivation as threat and compensates aggressively. What does work is changing the conditions that make the loop attractive in the first place. More friction, less novelty saturation, activities that regulate the nervous system without locking attention into a single endlessly escalating channel. Movement, variety, boredom allowed to exist without immediate anesthetic. Because boredom isn't the enemy, it's the signal that the brain is ready to re-engage with complexity, the thing gooning temporarily removes. So, how does gooning work? It works by stretching anticipation instead of delivering closure, by keeping dopamine elevated and satisfaction postponed, by narrowing attention until everything else fades into background noise, by offering control when the world feels loud, chaotic, or demanding. It's not mysterious, it's not supernatural, it's not a moral failure. It's a brain doing exactly what brains do when given unlimited stimulation and no clear stopping signal, optimizing for intensity instead of balance. Once you see that, the phenomenon stops feeling strange. It stops feeling uniquely personal. It starts looking like a predictable outcome of ancient wiring colliding with modern attention systems, which doesn't make it harmless, but it does make it understandable. And understanding, unlike intensity, actually gives you choices, because the brain isn't broken. It's just very good at learning the wrong lesson when the environment keeps teaching it the same one over and over. And sometimes the most powerful reset isn't forcing yourself to stop. It's teaching your attention that the world is still interesting, even when it isn't screaming for you to stay.